I've been improving my communication skills for almost 4 years now. And at that time, I've built up a decently social life for myself. And something that's been happening a decent bit recently is I've felt like my progress is really stagnated, right? I felt like I wasn't making progress as quickly as I used to, and that I was kind of, I was kind of starting to feel bad about it. And one thing that I remembered, or just something that came to me as I was kind of spending time thinking, which I'll very often do, is I kind of just remove distractions and I spend time kind of just thinking about things and clearing up things in my head. Right? Was I thought about where I was a year ago, and then where I was 2 years ago, and 3 years ago, and 4 years ago, and 5 years ago. Right? And I just thought about how much I actually improved in these last few years, like where I've started and where I am right now. And just that thought helped me just improve my mental health instantly. Like I just felt way better and way more grateful because I thought about this, and this is an exercise that you can do as well. Visualize yourself from a few years ago, from when you started improving your social skills or being self-improvement or whatever. And imagine, visualize yourself, like put yourself in your own shoes from 4 years ago and kind of imagine looking at yourself from today. Like, what would your past self think if he saw you right now? Hopefully, at least this is how it is in my case. If myself from 4 or 5 years ago saw me from today, he bro would probably start like dancing and singing from how happy he would be because of how much progress I've actually made in social skills, in my confidence, in my physique, and all of these different areas. Because in reality, sure, maybe I haven't made as much confidence as my potential would have allowed me. Maybe I haven't lived up to my potential in the last 4 years, but it is an undeniable fact that I have made a really good amount of progress in these last 4 years. Like, you cannot tell me that I've wasted the last 4 years of my life because I haven't. I made a shit ton of progress, and I'm really grateful for that. And that's just an exercise that you could do if at any point you were kind of feeling like your progress is slowed down, or maybe you've been feeling like you aren't good enough for whatever criteria you're kind of trying to achieve, and maybe your mental health has been going down because of it. Just remember where you were just a few years ago. Remember where you started. Like, you probably started, like right now, it's like you're probably, if we're talking about social skills, it's like you're probably struggling to get a girlfriend, right? But it's like you're great at speaking to people, you're speaking to people, you got confidence to approach girls, you speak to tons of people every day, you have tons of friends, you have a really social, vibrant life, but you still feel kind of bad because you can't get a girlfriend or whatever. But just think back on you a few years back. Like, you probably weren't able to even speak to a stranger on the street without like shaking from anxiety. You probably were like semi-depressed. Your mental health was probably horrible. You were probably like, if you've been going to the gym this time as well, you were probably like a small, scrawny kid. Now you got some muscle on. You're feeling more confident. You're feeling better about yourself. Just remember where you started and just see how much progress you've actually made. Another mindset as well that I've had recently is to be grateful about the fact that I've started at the point at which I've started. Like, one thing I found is that most guys, probably if not all of the guys who are on self improvement and who have been kind of improving their lives for years and going through all of the trials and tribulations, probably 90, 95, 99% of them are guys who, when they started self improvement, they weren't just at level zero, right? They weren't just at the average person level in social skills, confidence, charisma, mental health, physique. They were probably like below average, like a lot. Like, they were probably like a super fat guy or like a small, scrawny kid. They had no confidence, no social skills, a lot of social anxiety, horrible mental health. Like, all of these things, like, they weren't just at level zero, they were like level minus 10, right? And the reason that they've been able to stick to self improvement for such a long time is because of the pain that that previous life has given them. And that's the motivation that pushed them to climb up from level minus 10 to level 0 and then to level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11, whatever. That's why, for example, I realized that when I told some of my friends about this YouTuber, this self-improvement YouTuber called Hamza. He's probably the biggest self-improvement YouTuber, at least like one of the most influential, right? His name is Hamza. So I tell them about him, and they all start watching him, and they start implementing some strategies, some things that he preaches, like read books, work out, meditate, right? And they do it for a solid few weeks, but then they stop. And I thought for a while, like, why would they stop when it's clearly habits which are improving your life? Like, sure, going to the gym and meditating is not nearly as fun as playing video games and scrolling on TikTok, but you feel better and your life is better. And I realized that the reason that those guys dropped hums and dropped self-improvement after a few weeks, well, here I am 4 years in with no signs of stopping, is because of the fact that those guys started at level 0. Their lives were already pretty solid, decently solid, and getting self-improvement, okay, level up a bit, it was kind of nice, but they were already okay with their current lives. They didn't have the fire to improve. Well, the fact that you and I started at rock bottom at like -10, and our lives were so shitty in the start, is the motivation that is pushing us, or that pushed us to get to the point where we are now after years of sacrifice and early mornings and cold showers and all these habits. That's the thing that kept us pushing up to this point, and it's probably going to keep us pushing for years and years at higher and higher levels. That's another mindset I had. Was just made me extremely grateful for the fact that I was such a little autistic, anxious, little scrawny idiot a few years ago. Because if that little idiot was even a slight bit more confident, or a slight bit more charismatic or social, then maybe this version of myself that exists today, right now, would never have existed. And that would be a real shame. If you want to improve your social skills quickly and you want to meet some guys who are also on the same path, you can join the community, the free community, first link in the description. You can also hop on a free call with me if you want. We can discuss mindsets like this. We can discuss other things. It's all absolutely free. You can just check it out, first link in the description. If you found this video helpful, I think you'll find a lot of value in this video. Click on the subscribe button and do the work.